My girlfriend's morning routine turned me into an early bird and made me realize she's the one I want to marry one day. I've never willingly woken up before noon in my life. My record was sleeping until 3 p.m. on a Sunday and feeling genuinely proud of it. I used to brag about it. My friends would text me at 11 a.m. on a Saturday, and I'd see the messages 6 hours later and think nothing of it. Sleep was my hobby, my superpower, my whole personality. So when my girlfriend and I decided to move in together, I had one real concern. Not finances, not chores, not whose furniture we were keeping. It was the mornings. She knew I was bad at them. I told her early on, half as a warning and half as a disclaimer. She laughed it off and said we'd figure it out. I believed her, but I also kind of assumed she'd just accept that I'd sleep in on weekends while she did whatever she did. I figured we'd meet somewhere in the middle eventually. She'd stay up a little later, I'd get up a little earlier, and we'd make it work like adults do. That's not what happened. The first week we lived together, she woke up every single morning at 9 a.m. like it was nothing. I didn't even know she was a morning person. We'd spent nights together plenty of times before, but somehow I'd never clocked that she was up at 9 while I was still horizontal until noon. She never made a big deal of it, never woke me up, never complained about it once. She just went and made coffee. I'd eventually drag myself out of bed around 11 or 12, and the apartment would already smell like a coffee shop. She'd be on the couch with her sketchbook, pencil moving, completely in her own world. She'd glance up, say good morning like it was totally normal, and go right back to drawing. I didn't think much about it the first week. I was still in move-in mode, adjusting to the new space, figuring out where everything was. Second week, something small shifted. I started waking up earlier than usual, not on purpose. My body would just pull itself out of sleep around 9:30 or 10, and I'd lie there in the dark bedroom, fully awake, listening. I could hear the faint scratch of her pencil through the wall, sometimes the soft clink of her mug on the table, and underneath everything, the smell of coffee curling under the door. I'd tell myself to go back to sleep. I didn't have to be anywhere, no alarm, no reason, but I'd keep lying there listening. And something about it, the pencil, the quiet, the way the apartment felt like it was already alive, made me feel like I was missing something. Not in a bad way, in a weird, magnetic way. Like there was a version of the morning happening on the other side of that door that I wasn't part of. I stayed in bed anyway, but I was awake. Third week, I stopped fighting it. I got up one morning around 9:45 and shuffled out to the kitchen without saying anything. She looked up from the couch, smiled, and said nothing. I poured myself a coffee and sat on the floor next to her, not even on the couch, just the floor, and stared at my phone while she kept drawing. We didn't talk for probably 20 minutes. It was one of the most peaceful mornings I could remember. After that, I just kept doing it. Every weekend, up before 10, coffee in hand, sitting next to her while she sketched. Sometimes we'd talk, sometimes we wouldn't. She'd show me what she was working on, and I'd give her my completely unqualified opinion, and she'd laugh and disagree and keep going. Some mornings we'd end up talking for 2 hours without realizing it. Some mornings we'd just exist in silence, and that was more than enough. I started waking up easier during the week, too. The alarm didn't feel like an enemy anymore. I'd get up, start the coffee, and we'd have 15 minutes together before the day took over. It became something I actually looked forward to. I didn't say any of this out loud. I didn't want to make it weird, but I noticed it. I noticed I was waking up at 9 on a Saturday like it was natural. I noticed the sound of her pencil had become one of my favorite sounds. I noticed the coffee we made together tasted better than any coffee I'd ever made alone. Then one morning, about 6 weeks in, the light came through the window at this angle I'd never seen before. Just hit everything differently. She was cross-legged on the couch, sketchbook in her lap, hair still half in a bun from the night before, completely absorbed in what she was drawing. She didn't know I was watching. She was just there, in the light, doing her thing like she did every single morning. I sat there with my coffee going cold, thinking about how I'd spent my entire adult life treating mornings like something to survive. And this woman had completely undone that without ever once asking me to change. She didn't fix me. She didn't try to. She just made the morning feel like somewhere I wanted to be, and I thought, I want to wake up to this for the rest of my life.